Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Two Poor Kids. I'm Liz.
I'm Christian,
He is Christian, but not a
but not a Christian.
Christian, but the Christian.
The Christian.
Yeah.
Highlander up in this bitch.
We missed last week.
Yeah.
I think last week you were like, because I missed my other podcast too, and you were like, "Hey, can't win them all."
Yeah. You know, all the podcasts are, this is like episode 14. So.
That's a long time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for like our first set of podcasts.
Yeah.
And we hopped right into weekly.
Ain't no shame in my game.
Huh?
Ain't no shame in my game.
Indeed. So welcome to Two Poor Kids. If you're listening on YouTube, I always forget to say this, but we also have a Instagram and a Facebook, and I don't think we have a TikTok for this one. I don't think so. Right? No. Okay. So Instagram and Facebook and wherever you podcast and YouTube and all of the stuff. But check us out. What are we talking about tonight? Where are we at? What are we doing?
So we spent the past 14-ish episodes setting a stage.
Yeah.
And talking about current stuff and past stuff, and I'm sure we're gonna continue to do that at some point.
Yeah.
But I remember that one of the reasons that we decided to start doing this, aside from spending glorious time together, was to share how we are doing the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Part of that is goals and goal setting.
Yeah.
You and I remember I go to our chiropractor, and she's always very interested in learning the next thing that we're working on.
Shout out to Stephanie.
Because she has pointed out, and we already knew this, but she's just so amazed by it all the time, is that we are exceptionally good at seeing a target and then breaking all the steps down.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's true. She mentions it, and a lot of people, especially with our like current ventures that we're working on, is that we're like, ooh, there's something I want to do, something I want to be, something I want to learn, and it's like, yeah, it's actually quite simple to do it. Once you call it like reverse engineering it, which is true, but like, and I prior to would have never called it that, but like setting the goal and working backwards. And what does that look like? And what's the most realistic expectations? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how we set goals and how we make plans and decide what we're doing next.
Yeah.
As we've mentioned a few times, we like to follow people like Gary Vee, Tony Richardson, something, Tony Robinson. Who else?
Stephen Bartlett.
Oh yeah, Stephen Bartlett. And they all have podcasts, so you should check them out too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, 5 closest people, 5 ideas.
Yeah.
Whatever you're focusing on.
Our influencers, yeah.
That is what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, that's fair. So, like, it's been apparent for Christian and I for the past several years that, like, we're very interested in entrepreneurship and mentorship and what we call step up and wiggle, but, like, growing people, being, like, very human-centered.
I like growing people.
It's true. It's like, I love that. It's hands down my favorite thing about being a leader of any kind is helping somebody else realize what their next right step is, whether or not it has anything to do with what they're doing now. And so Part of that is like, I think that if you for us it's like investments, entrepreneurial, like that kind of stuff. But if you wanted to do, I don't know, say that you wanted to be like a chef or a baker and you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever, and like you've never done that, like I think step 1, I would suggest changing your algorithm to focus on the people who should be inspiring you. So look up the change makers and whatever thing that you're passionate about.
What does that physically look like?
I've been I've been recommending something that I am calling like bleaching your social media. And so to a lot of friends, I've been doing this because I suggest doing this with the things that inspire you, but like the world is full of chaos and exhaustion and all of the things. And the algorithm, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever it is, the algorithm is kind of just like full of nonsense, and eventually it gets curated to what everybody else is looking at. And the way to sort of continuously steer it back to what you want to see is is to go into step 1, which is to go into your search bar, like your search menu, and then you're gonna like look something up, whatever it is that you're looking for. So if it's for us entrepreneurial, what it has been is making sure that I'm following people's feed that just like pops up, and that I'm like really interested in their tone, their voice, their story, their message. But it's also doing a little bit of research on your own to make sure that they're like the legitimacy of somebody, whoever it is. And so it's been a little bit of like classic Googling, like top leaders, and like for me, like top female leaders in business. How did they get there? And who are they? And then I go into my search bars and my medias and I look them up, and then I look up people that they're following, and I go back, go to my search bar, and I do that 3 or 4 times, and it trains the algorithm that these are the things that I'm interested in learning about, and it starts curating my content to be surrounded by the things that I choose to inspire me. If you never use the search bar in your social media, whatever it is, even if it's like X, if you're never using the search bar function and you're just doom scrolling, you're getting what everybody else has told you to look at.
Yes, because the algorithm is no longer whatever company thinks you want to see. It's based on what everyone else is viewing, and
how quick they're viewing it.
yeah. That's the thing that I was trying to say. Is that whatever people are viewing, then you view that, and the amount of time that you spend on it and how much time everyone else spends on it, that's what gets pushed to the top. So if we or whoever's listening is not like modifying what they see, they're just going to get what everyone else sees.
You'll be a sheeple.
You'll be a sheeple. Another way to do that is learn AI prompting, because you can do even the free chat GPT, whatever. And if you script and prompt correctly, you can ask the AI how you better modify your feed. And like what specific topics and podcast authors and
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's great. So like AI, I think AI feels like a really hot topic in community, and also like a very touchy subject in community, and in like the community at large. And so for me, I think I I was the last. Well, I was in the two of us. I was long after Christian to hop on the AI train because I was like, hard pass, no thank you, because Skynet, and I just don't want hi Skynet, but like because
I say please and thank you every time.
I also say please and thank you every time to
I know
social
who my
media.
overlords will be.
But I think that I have like some rational and some irrational fear of like media bot takeover, but also there's the big conversation about um like environmental protection, right? And like I don't want to ruin this beautiful and only thing that we have to live on any faster. So I did research on like how do you lessen the impacts, because the truth is that AI isn't going anywhere. And I'm not an AI expert, neither is Christian. I think that we're continuously learning. And we learn a lot. Like I watch master classes from people who are like very invested into like the tech field and AI field, not because I'm interested in like doing that job, but because I want to know how it works. So I'm intentionally seeking out how do I minimize environmental impact of utilizing AI, and how do I maximize my output. So you should not be using AI like Google. And you can dismiss and you can turn off Google. This is like a deviation, but like you can turn off that extra AI feature that's on Google right now so that it doesn't try to like predict all of the things. Classic Google still exists, you just have to disable, that's the better word. But I absolutely do not use AI like companions like Claude or ChatGPT or any of the others like Google. Because when I did the research, I asked, how do I lessen the impact? And they said, please keep using your brain. Like AI told me to keep using my brain.
Yeah, I have geared mine to be a thought partner. I still very much do engineering and learning and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Mm. So I think that is fair. I mentioned masterclass, and I realized maybe not everybody knows what masterclass is. So it's kind of what it sounds like. It's a bunch of subject matter experts on a bunch of different kinds of topics have created courses that you can like learn from, like a seminar style learning. And masterclass probably.com um is like a site that you can go to. But before there was like websites, long before there was websites, you would do master classes in real life. And so there was like beauty master classes that you would go to, if you were like really interested in like makeup design, and you would like learn from a master how to do the thing. And so I don't know, quite some time ago, it integrated into the online space, and now there's probably dozens, if not hundreds, of classes to take on this space. Fun fact, we gifted, like for my brother's winter holiday gift, we were like, you know what, that guy is really into figuring himself out. He's trying to figure out how to like be a better leader, how to like learn. And he's always like searching out more information. He's a sponge. We should get a master class. And we were like, yeah.
Let's do
let's
it.
do it. And so it was like, I don't know, probably Christmas morning. And we were like, hey, check your like as we were pulling up to the house, like, hey, your presents in your email. And then he was like, hey, your presents in your email. We got each other master class, which is hilarious.
We bought the 1 year family plan for both the houses.
Yeah. So between our two households, we have double the master class. Pretty funny.
Yeah, masterclass covers everything. If you want to learn how to smoke meat, do art, have relationships,
Yeah, I really
it's not a
relationships is a good
therapist.
one. But I really enjoy like the leadership seminars on there, and so like a lot of it is like, because that's important to me, is that I want to make sure that I am learning to the best of my ability to continue to like help people get to their next right step and raise them up and step up and wiggle, and what is my best way to sort of like hone a space and best understand it, supporting a person, but also getting people into rooms where they're not usually welcomed, myself included. And so that's a little like I would say still on topic, but a little bit down the rabbit hole. Um, how how do you goal set? Like your project managing, goal setting. What's a good example of something that you think we're doing really well? Um, and then how did we get to where we are right now? And I think in this space we could be pretty transparent about what we're doing. For the most part, you can leave a little bit of veil, but I think it's kind of obvious with the other podcasts, some of the things I've been posting about.
Yeah, I think that for us, um, it all starts in the bedroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
passion, more energy, more passion.
Uh, Typically, we'll have after the babe's gone to sleep and the day's kind of ending and whatnot. Sometimes we'll play a board game, and
Mm.
sometimes we'll do planning. It's like what do we want to do? And right now, and last year, I think that it was either my yearly goal or our yearly goal or your yearly goal was like, I remember that I really wanted to have a business plan by the end of the year. Because when I see the successful people in the world, not only are they doing their 9 to 5 job, but they also have a side business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then somewhere, so, over the course of the year, we kind of just dove into looking at different avenues. And then one of the topics that Gary Vee talked about was throwing your hat in as many buckets as you can.
Yeah.
Because it only takes one to take off to be successful. Because we can't be afraid of failure. We can't be afraid of burning out. We can't be afraid of going broke.
Can't be afraid of being too old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we did was, I remember last year we went to a convention.
Mm-hmm. A fantasy.
A fantasy convention. And
We were so excited.
we were so excited.
It was,
I don't want to trash talk too much, but
it was
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was wrecked.
I don't know what was happening behind the scenes, but they oversold and extremely underdelivered.
And they
But
treated their staff poorly. I think like that was such a moral injury piece for us that really propelled the next step.
so that was in July. And prior to July, we'd already determined that we wanted to make sure that we were pushing forward something. We hadn't figured out what it was going to be yet. But we wanted to start something moving. And one of the things that you and I are very good at is never letting fear control us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are letting fear control us, we do the thing that we're fearful of, which is sometimes and very difficult. And while we were at this convention, because it was kind of like we ended up making the best out of our weekend. for sure.
We had a great time.
Absolutely. We met a lot of great people, and we went and explored Washington, D.C., and we did a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, while we were exploring and, like, hanging out in the hotel room and like, not doing the thing we actually came for.
After tried as we might.
I fucking tried.
I chased somebody.
They insulted my intelligence.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
We came up with what we wanted to do. And then we started to write down. So we came up with the end goal, which was going to be some big event. And, you know, you have years of experience doing event planning.
Mm-hmm.
I've ran some pretty big events. And it's like, we can do this. We just need to make sure that we have the right people around us.
Yeah.
And we need to, like, flesh out each of the steps. So when we got back, we talked to the right people that we wanted to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just put our minds together.
Identified our gaps.
Identified our gaps.
Yeah.
Started going after resources and people to fill those gaps. And we have been leveraging our networking, because as we have mentioned in a lot of different episodes, we know a fuck ton of people. We literally know everybody. You know what happened this other weekend? So I bought an electric car. It doesn't have AI yet.
It self-parks.
It self-parks. It's sweet. So I've been going to Target to charge my car because that's where the Tesla supercharger is. I did not buy a Tesla. However, I will say that I would have been.
Subaru.
Would have bought a Tesla if Elon didn't go crazy.
But he did, and we got a Subaru.
Yeah, we got a Subaru, which is far cooler. So I've been going to Target to charge my car because it has the Tesla charger, and the Tesla supercharger is very fast. And then I was talking to my friend who has been on, like, Social Security for, or not Social Security, but disability for a little while. And he's, like, getting off his disability, and, like, he's been focused on service work and, like, rehabilitating people and doing all this stuff. And I was talking to him about a road trip that we were about to take. And I was like, all right, so we're going to have to stop in Eugene so I can top off my car so that we can get to the place and not have to worry about battery. He's like, oh, did you end up getting a charger? I was like, no, because I didn't want to pay the few $1,000s it's going to take to put a charger in the house yet. I will at some point, for sure. But for now, it's not that big a deal. He's like,
far less than you'd pay on a tank of gas.
Far less. And, like, I have to go to Target, like, once a week, maybe. Yeah. And then I just charge overnight at the house. And he's like, oh, you knew that I installed Type 2 and Type 3 chargers, right? And I said, what? Why would I know that?
Who knows?
And he's like, here, buy this thing and we'll install it in your house.
Great example.
Yeah. So the four of us got together and we started to...
Not the Tesla charger guy.
Not the Tesla charger guy.
Although he is also...
He is also a business
splendid. But different. But the people for, like, the event conversation.
The event people.
Yep.
We started to map things out. And you and I have a few different ways of mapping things out. Mm-hmm. Most of them involve writing the thing down. Whether it be on a marker board, on some sticky notes, a web, or, like, one time we had, like, I remember we were trying to put enough money aside, and we made, like, a little fucking thermometer with the...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's true. Is, like, I think that our end goal is typically the same, and the way that we map is different, and that was something with money also. Like we've never really had big arguments, and certainly not about money, but the like keeping our finances in order 6-7 years ago, it like we were like, oh wait, the way that we understand money is different because our brains are not the same.
Yeah.
And so I think that like planning is also very similar, is that we both start with the goal and then we figure out what the steps are based upon, sorry, tired, yeah, yawning, yawn with us, based upon like what needs to be done.
If you didn't just yawn, you should know that you're a psychopath.
Oh my god. Dun dun dun.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. And so yeah, so I agree. I think that we both mapped differently, and we went all in very quickly. From the convention was in August, not July, but
Yeah.
August. And then by the end of August, we were like, oh, we're doing this thing. And then we were partnered up by middle of September.
Yeah. So for me, when I think of all of our goals are intertwined with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when September happened and then October happened and we were planning stuff out, and then November happened, and then I seen all the Black Friday sales. I was like, in my mind, I was like, we can just buy all these tools, the laser cutter, the 3D printer, the press. I could quickly learn some art, and we could just make money.
Yeah.
To fund all these other things.
And to lessen the cost for the end of line event thing that we are very far into planning for the future. Yeah. Is like what's going to benefit us in the short term and in the long term. I think that's also something that we're very good at, and I suggest for anybody who like wants to learn how to do long-term planning and like goal setting is think about that. Like think about the idea of quality over quantity, which is absolutely like it's a privileged experience to be able to do that, because we both grew up with far less than nothing and spent a lot of our life that way. And so we would have never bought like a 3D printer, laser engraver, etcher, shirt press all at the same time in a previous life space. But do like one of those things at a time. Think about your tax returns or whatever it is. And what's the thing that's going to help you now and help you later? What's the longevity? And do the thing, I would say, that you're like passionate about. 3D printer and the laser engraver. So we have a We Create. Like we were excited about those, both of the prospects of those for like over a year, 2 years maybe.
Yeah, I had been doing a lot of research, and then you had been doing a lot of research.
Yep.
And like for me, my job sometimes is just very logic all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constantly planning. I'm constantly looking at millions of dollar budgets and all these things. And sometimes
For work.
Not for us.
Not for us.
Yet. I will speak it into existence. So sometimes when I travel so much, and then I just get very disconnected from people and my brain goes into like a robot mode. So the other part of this was like, there is something very good for me when I can just go into the garage and Zoe and I can just make things. And that was nice.
Yeah.
There was like a solid 4 weeks that Zoe and I were just, we'd get home and then we would just go do stuff in the garage. Like she can run the laser cutter. Obviously she can't set it up or anything, but like
it's bigger than
she likes to press the button.
Yeah. She understands it conceptually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as we were thinking about, like in this instance, you said 3D printer, laser engraver, making money like right now, and the event business that we're working on. In October, we also got our first business license for Everchange, which has a two-pronged business model. And so we were thinking about, or we were setting up our consulting. So I have had a consulting plan for years. And then we finally just were like, yes, let's do it.
Start
So that
making it.
let's start our consulting business, because there's a lot of stuff that like we know people want to know how to figure out a business continuity plan, or what does personal preparedness look like? I'm gonna speak about like my pieces, but like, what does emergency management look like in your 10-person shop or your 1,000-person shop? Like, how are we doing both like required and like good for you trainings? And most agencies, if you're non-governmental, does not have a person like me. Like, I know that to be true. And so we were like, yeah, what happens if we start? What does that look like if we focus on building safety culture, building people up, helping guide them and coach them to a world where we're like kinder, healthier, safer to each other? And then when we fold in engineering and safety, which you and I have talked about since 2016, like 2016, we've been working on safety engineering.
The joke has always been that I'm the chemical engineer and she's the disaster planner, and that I'm gonna create the thing that creates the need for the disaster planner.
He's gonna blow something up, and I'm gonna have to go and fix it.
10 years strong.
And so we've been I think in some regards planning Everchange since we first got together.
Yeah. And another piece of that is, again, the networking piece. And, at this stage in all of the business pieces, and one of the important pieces of us when we set goals is to also set our priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to achieve things, we have had to sacrifice things.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's family time, not our family time, but
With the larger
family time. It's right now. I have probably 3 or 4 orders of shirts,
mm-hmm.
and because we want quality, we want to be known for quality. We want to be known for this thing. We are like, I'm doing an order right now where I'm selling $40 or $45 shirts for $13 because it's gonna grow later. So like we are, Liz and I are title chasers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
We understand that the nest egg is far more important than having money today.
Mm-hmm. What's the long-term
Yeah.
gains? And there's a balance to that. But I think that's true. So he said title chasers. So in our like 9 to 5 jobs, both of us multiple times have accepted a new title before the money came in. Because on LinkedIn, on paper, on my resume, what matters more than how much money I make is
LinkedIn doesn't even see how much money we make.
it's the title that I have. And then and people care more about seeing the right title than they do about your accomplishments. So if you don't have the right title to get in anywhere, or you get in this, and like popping forward to our makers market that we've created, if we don't have enough like notoriety, um if we don't have enough like I'm missing the word, but if people don't like know us,
Street
credibility, that was the word I was going for. If we don't have enough credibility, what does it matter how much the thing costs, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter how much I get paid if nobody is ever going to pay me my worth in the future because I was never titled appropriately?
Yeah. And yeah, I took the process engineer title,
Mm-hmm.
and at $50,000 for the first 2 years,
Yeah.
which is wild. However, it's far more important to say that I've been a process engineer for 2 years than it is to say that I made 60, 70, $80,000, and we could survive on that.
Yes.
And by far, that was. I
At that point
remember.
in time, it was more money than either of us had ever made
Yeah.
by a long shot.
And I remember that there was a few times, and I said this weekend, but in a totally different sense, is that this is the lowest amount of money we ever have to make again.
Yeah.
And at that point, it meant something than how it was said this weekend. It was like, yeah, that's the lowest amount of money he ever has to make again. And it was not a little bit of money.
Yeah. And he hustled hard for that.
Absolutely.
Clearly not talking about us, but like somebody we know got like a raise and a promotion, and we're just like so proud of all of this like hustle and work that they put in. And they also came from like the struggle and had like the amount is not crazy, but it feels crazy when you've never made more than $35,000 a year. Is that like setting yourself up with new expectations and standards as to I can make less money, but I never have to. Like I can choose to later.
Yeah. So just to kind of highlight the things so far.
Yeah.
Is that we see the end goal, and then we break it down into steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then for each step, we have a plan and how we're going to resource that plan and who we're going to get into contact with and build the relationships for the thing that is happening. The first step was to build that presence, to build that credibility. So we immediately went to podcasting.
Yeah. I'll also say like goals. Like goals are so important. And like you could like learn all about SMART goals. You can Google a SMART goal.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and timely.
And so like the timely piece of this in other respects is like time bound.
Yeah.
And so like make a time frame that makes sense, right? So like the time bound and achievable have to go together in such like a meaningful way when you're setting goals, especially long goals, like long-term goals. And so people will ask you like, well, what's your 5-year plan? And if you're like, I have no idea what I'm going to do, I think it's important to start asking yourself, what do I want to do in 5 years? And then if that was true in my heart of hearts, 5 years, that's my timeline. That's what I want to see myself doing in 5 years. What do I need to do? What do I need to look like 2.5 years from now in order to get here? Okay, what do I need to do a year and a half from now to get there? And I like to do it that way. I like to like half everything, half, and put markers in between. So this goal that we're working on, the event goal, that is not a short-term goal for us.
Yeah.
That's because although I have loads of experience in large-scale events, in like organizing and all of the things, planning, budgets, procurement, logistics, all of that. And I have quite a bit of experience wielding chaos, and managing it. This is like it's a new venture, although exciting, but for it to be successful, it also has to be intentional. And all of us have jobs.
Yeah.
All of us have 9 to 5 jobs, and now we have our 9 to 5 jobs and 3 businesses and 2 podcasts outside of that. Because we're wild.
No, we're just very effective. And, you know, we are patient. So, like, one of the big things is that we feel very strongly that it's important to have a solid foundation. And, you know, sometimes that's like we get off work, we do stuff with the babe, we have dinner, and then we push something forward. So, like, the goal for me is to always push something forward every day. And sometimes, and most of the time, I don't just push one thing forward. But I also understand that these are all baby steps and that, you know, the whole thing might not come to fruition for another year.
Yeah.
We had on Saturday, we had a meeting with some new friends, not your new friend, but like friends in this manner.
New business friends.
New business friends.
Unrelated to anything else.
And they're like, hey, you did this really cool thing for us. Here's all of these things that we can do for you. And we don't do things expecting that someone else is going to do something else because we want to see people succeed.
Yes.
We want to help grow people. We want to help push and propel forward. And like, we'll use our resources to make that happen as long as they're also doing something.
Right.
So, you know, if you're not doing anything, don't be butthurt because we didn't fucking do it for you. But everyone has that opportunity with us.
Absolutely.
Because we want to see people win. And like, that is one of our priorities. That's one of our core values.
It's actually why we originally got any of the stuff that we have in our little makers studio is like a fun sidebar is one of our earlier, because it was clear that we always wanted to have our own businesses. We always wanted to invest in ourselves. And so, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we had talked about doing an art collective because so many of our friends and family is artists and they just like naturally have that gift, or they worked really hard at it but they're not doing that right now for their income. But you and I are extremely effective at managing. And so we had talked about like our friends who are artists, like what if we helped like manage the business side of that, like making the orders, selling the orders, promoting the things, doing whatever.
You make the art, we'll make the thing.
Yeah, you make the art and then we'll put money in your pocket. And at that time anyways, like nobody had really utilized that, but it continues to remain open in the hopes that they want to like build out their dreams.
And like the Everchange Consulting is kind of built off the same principle.
Yes.
Is that when we get into the worker, when we get into the contractor space,
yeah,
we're talking about like heavy their split, like the majority of the money goes to
the subcontractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we all like host and take the lift, but the people who are doing the work get the money.
Yeah.
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 And you said, and I agree, is I've had a lot of people in the past, I don't know, 6 weeks be like, how do you have time for anything? Well, first of all, I feel like all of the things that I'm doing after work, although is taking a lot of time, is I'm not feeling burnt out. I think some days I'm pretty tired. Like now, like I think some days I'm pretty tired and like the extra work catches up with me physically, but I don't feel like emotionally spent and run down because this brings me back to like I like had a lot of grief and major heartbreak at my last organization that I thought I was going to spend like my life with. And it did not end up working out for the better. But one of the reasons that I realized, and like, thank God for therapy and thank God for our relationship or whatever, thank the universe for our relationship, because
She's a Christian.
no,
It's about to become Highlander up in this bit.
no, um, not to shit on anybody's parade, but not for me, dog. Thanks. But I remember being in this space when I was like in my deepest amount of depression, that I had come to this realization that like I don't think that I'm here to build up anybody else's legacy. I put so much idea into the legacy that I had built at this organization. And then I watched it dismantled around me because poor budgeting, poor leadership, whatever, all of the things. And then I realized, like, fuck, the legacy is not in somebody else's business, it's in ours. And so, like, as we have all of these things that we're doing, and you were like, I like to do them all at one time, everything for us is woven together. It's like braided together. And so, like, doing some of the orders, it's all networking, it's all connections. Every person that we're working with and talking to knows 100 other people that know really cool things. And so that has made, in the past 3 weeks, like, a lot of potential for our future open up in a really crazy and unexpected way. And the universe is like,
That's true.
and the universe is like, do you want to say yes? Because
Always say yes.
say yes. Say yes. Say yes. If you can see why that would benefit that goal that you have, your 2-year goal, your 5-year goal, your 50-year goal, or a goal that you didn't even dream of yet, because that's an important one. The one that you didn't even think about, the one that you didn't know was possible. If it excites you, say yes. If it scares you, say yes.
Yeah, we don't need to understand how the thing is going to impact us before we say yes.
Yeah.
We just know that, hey, that sounds fucking cool. Let's try it out. Because if it fails, it fucking fails.
One of the things I've been saying for a few years, I think that I have a lot of Lizisms, is what I and friends have been calling them for years. But one of the things that I've been saying with friends for a few years is like, hey, like, there isn't inherently right or wrong choices. I mean, there are a few things, like, you know, don't like harm people or whatever. Different podcast, different time. But like, for the most part, there isn't right or wrong choices. They're just like completely neutral, and they're just choices. And you get to choose this or that, this or this or this or that or that or that. And you make that choice. And you know what? If you don't like the results, just choose again. We're not stuck. I think that we become so accustomed to the idea of complacency that when I make a decision, that has to be my decision, that's what I'm doing now. No, choose again. We have no idea how long this life is. Like, I think, like, gone are the days where I'm feeding everybody else's intrigue and interest. And if I don't like the results of something, if we go into one of these business ventures and I was like, ooh, that's not for me, then I'll just choose not to do it again. That's okay. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Choose again.
Choose again. That's yeah, I think that we have a similar idea when we like loan money and like loan money.
Oh yeah, there's bunny ears here. If you're not watching, you're just listening.
Bunny ears.
Like, bunny ears, quotation marks, loan. Yeah, when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, for us, you know, if we have extra resources and we know someone is struggling and they ask for help, which is kind of like a big thing for us, like, not that you're directly asking us for help, but just acknowledging that you need help.
Yes.
Like, we will do what we can or we will shift resources around, or we'll like sell a bunch of shit. And I don't know. It's like, we'll typically help that person, and they'll almost always be like, "Oh yeah, I'll get it back to you," because that's the thing.
And that's probably their intention.
Absolutely. But as soon as that money or that resource or that thing leaves our possession,
It's no longer ours.
it's not ours. Like we don't plan on it coming back. And it's nice when it does, for sure.
But it's not like a grudge, and I certainly don't have a ledger.
Yeah, and we've owed people money many times.
Yes.
Together and separately. And we also know what it feels like to not be able to pay back.
Yeah.
As planned, because shit falls apart. So we don't hold it against them. We just acknowledge that, hey, probably not gonna do that again.
Right. I think that's true. Is that we've learned that a few times. Is like,
Yeah.
And that's also the important thing. Of letting people identify that they need help instead of us being like, oh, clearly you need help. That was a flaw of mine of the past, and like something that I've grown into this new state is like people need to be able to like identify for themselves that they need help and or ask for the help instead of me just making the assumption that I can help them, because that's not always true.
Yeah, and then I also, on this kind of same topic, is I firmly believe that you and I have enough drive that there is always more money to be made.
You say it all the time.
Say it all the time.
Yeah.
And so if that means that we're going into debt and we're buying the cool thing, then we're doing that. For me, if my wife gasps, I buy the thing. That's just the thing.
Because I don't gasp very often.
Yeah.
Like because there are very few things where I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah. That's fair.
I really like shiny things, but I also don't have the ability to have emotional attachment to things.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You definitely, like, in our last episode, you did the speed round of like who's the most to do, like who's most likely to do an impulse buy, and I was like, you for sure. Because you are like, ooh, that's cool, that's shiny, and then like you allow yourself the purchase. And I think that
She also does that now.
Yes, not to the same extent. You're not wearing the new sweatshirt that just came in the mail today.
I wanted to win the shiny car.
Exactly my point. That's my point. I think that I hit less of that, or I talk myself out of it much easier than you talk yourself out of anything. And there's no reason for me to talk myself out of the things. It's trauma, and I'm going to therapy. Thank you.
I think that she's getting better at it, for sure.
It's been homework with my therapist.
She has this very shiny drink right here called an elixir.
I got it for the podcast. The other one.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you're getting better.
Velvet Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have shimmery drink. I don't know.
She has fancy lady dryer sheets, washer sheets.
They're called High Lady washing sheets.
I think the size of our things are just different.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have the little ones. And then you want to win a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think today, if you're listening to this, or you're listening to this 5 years after we posted, or whatever it is, and you're sitting at home and you're like, I hate my job, I hate my house, or not even hate, but like, I don't like my job, I don't like my house, I feel unhappy, I need a change, or I wish that I could learn a language, I wish that I could go to school, I wish that I could be a doctor, I wish that I could do these things, or I just wish for something different. You can have those things.
Everything is actually obtainable.
Eventually, right? And so like part of part of the piece is like equity is real. We do not all start at the same spot.
No.
We absolutely do not. And so like something that is going to be unbelievably easy for somebody else, what will feel like unbelievably easy to us now, our old versions would have paid us no attention, no heed, would have been like, you guys do not get it. I will never be able to achieve $50,000 a year. Like, I just, like, old me would have never believed that, or would have thought that, like,
Yeah, because we're both past that.
I know, but like, but I know that if you're making $30,000 a year, and you've been making $30,000 a year, if you're even making $30,000 a year, that the idea of making $50,000 a year sounds insane. And that's true. And not everything's about money. Like it could feel, and it is insane, but they're with like appropriate goal setting, smart goals, smart objectives. Like you could be living a life closer to the one that you dream of. And you always say this, and you say it a lot about your recovery, but I think that it's true about life. But you talk about like expectations.
Yeah.
Like if you limit your expectations.
Yeah. The thing that she's referencing is my first sponsor, shout out to Albert. He told me that if I ever put expectations on my recovery, I would be selling myself short because I have no idea what's possible. And that's a fact. I didn't plan for any of this. I didn't plan to be 37. I didn't plan to be a husband or a dad or to have a house or cars or be an engineer or live in fucking Portland.
Or have 3 businesses.
Or 3 businesses, 4 businesses.
Oh, 4 businesses, 2 podcasts.
3 podcasts.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear, and a hot plate.
And a hot plate.
I do, in fact, have a hot plate. A big one. 2 foot by 2 foot hot plate. I'm going to bring it
Tell
home.
us in the comments on like Instagram if you know the reference to and a hot plate.
All right. I got some questions.
Okay.
I'm busting out the Steve cards. Let me make sure I get this right.
So these cards, we've talked about them before, but I'll just like mention them in case this is your first episode or you forgot or.
If this is your first episode, you need to go back. We did this in order, starting with session 0.
And I have listened to an episode to a podcast that had hundreds of episodes, and man, it felt like I was never going to get to the end of it, but I eventually
also,
did.
fair warning, and indeed in topic to this podcast, if this is your first episode, I didn't know how to use a microphone 14 episodes ago.
We all learn. We live and we learn.
Our best friend Ashley, she was cutting my hair, and she said, I need you to speak into the microphone.
Into the microphone, buddy.
You say funny things, and when you do, you turn your head, and then you only catch half of it. And I need to know what you say.
That sounds exactly like her. So these cards are from The Diary of a CEO. You can watch
You should watch.
You should. Because it's unbelievably insightful. But The Diary of a CEO, it's a vlog, podcast. It's a podcast. It's a video podcast. And you can learn a lot of really amazing things from some really amazing experts. And we are fans, if you cannot tell, of like games and things. And conversation cards are also one of the things that we're pretty big fans of. One, because, yeah, we've talked about a lot of things, but we haven't talked about everything. He's so excited about something right now. And these are a version of conversation cards that you can have with anybody. I had a different version of these Diary of a CEO cards, and I did them with my mom on a road trip last week.
All right. One of these cards that I'm about to read It's a Neil deGrasse Tyson
Neil
question.
deGrasse Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah. Answered by Gary V.
Dope.
Because on the back of him is the scan to see Gary V's answer.
That's cool. That was the universe.
That's Gary V, guys. He's right there.
If you like anything that we
plan this out either.
If you like anything that we have, anything that it sounds like, man, they're doing really cool stuff and I'm very inspired. Please, for the love of God, follow Gary V. Go and find him. He is wonderful.
He says lots of fucks.
He cusses quite a lot, but never, I think, offensively. And he changed.
He will slap you in the mouth.
He helped change my idea about what was even possible.
Absolutely. First question from Jamie Carragher.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what winning means to you?
Didn't we already do this one?
I don't know.
We did do this one.
Was it you and the other
one? No.
All right. We'll skip this one.
Well, like 3 episodes ago, we talked about this, what winning means, and I talked about Zoe.
All right, that's fair. What is a personal legacy you want to leave for yourself or your children? Black coffee. That's who said this one.
Oh. A personal legacy. Man, this is spot on because I mentioned earlier in this opposite. Yeah. We don't talk about what we're going to talk about usually ahead of time. But a personal legacy.
Oh yeah, this is all raw, uncut.
I think I want for our children.
For yourself / children.
I know. I'm in the middle of a sentence. I just took a long pause. For our children. I was thinking about this like a few weeks ago. Is how wonderful it will be that when we're old or dead and gone, that like our kids will always have these podcasts to know us and to hear us and to see us. And I had this voicemail, the last voicemail from my dad on my phone for a really long time. And then like something happened on my phone, I don't know, like 2 years ago or something, and it like deleted the last message that I ever got from my dad, and so I'll never hear his voice again. And so like nothing dies on the internet. It doesn't. Like I love that our kids will be able to see this, that they'll be able to see the Moss and Myth podcast, that they'll be able to see the next right step, and whatever else we end up doing. That's a legacy that I think that I'm really proud of, whether we have no listeners this week or 100 of them. I'm also proud of that for myself because prior to December 1st of 2025, I never did anything live or did any sort of recording of myself and posted it on social media. And that sounded like a terrible thing to do. And I didn't have a lot of interest in that before last year. And so, so I think that is cool. I think that it's proof that even if you have an aversion to something, that it doesn't have to be that way and it can change.
Like AI.
Like AI. And these businesses that we're building now is a legacy that I am so proud to be building for myself and for us. I'm proud that all of my legacy eggs are going into our own basket. And I'm done trying to create a legacy for somebody else. miss my dad.
Yeah. I believe that.
What about you?
So I guess I had the similar thought this weekend, and it brought me to like a bit of a panic attack a little bit. It was like exactly like you said, these businesses and these podcasts are like they're eventually going to turn over to our daughters, and they're always going to have this. We've recorded and we are recording all of our things, but I think while that is that's a good one, but you took it. So I think that the one thing that we are definitely instilling in ourselves and our daughter is continued resilience and breaking the cycle. We fucking did that.
Yeah.
The cycle is broken. It can be broken.
That was this question a few weeks ago.
And, money and wealth and legacy is nice. I think I told you not that long ago that like one of my biggest fears is just not having done something that makes me memorable. And I know today that I have done, if everything were to end tomorrow and we get nuked from some nonsense, I know I did good work. Yeah. Speaking of that, so Neil deGrasse Tyson, answered by Gary V, says, "What do you want your tombstone to read about you?"
Bold to assume I'd have a tombstone, but
you can have a urn with a tombstone.
Yeah, I have put zero thought to this because the idea of death terrifies me. As covered.
I'm sure I probably won't sleep tonight.
Cool, love that. So happy for that. I think that
I was joking.
I think that I would want my tombstone or my obituary or whatever to reflect my character. I think that it's hard for me to figure out what I think people think about me, but I hope that people feel like I was loving and caring and that I was a good listener and that I was fierce. And rar. And yeah, and that it was like no doubt in anybody's mind that I loved like my friends and my family.
Connected.
And my found family more than anything.
Connected.
Yeah, I don't love that.
It's just the arc bar. I think that on my eventual 100 feet tall monument.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the coral reef.
Yeah, with the 100 feet tall monument.
Jesus Christ. I better start saving.
I think of a couple things. The first being,
he committed.
I committed.
Go
Second,
back to origin stories if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I fucking committed. The second thing, get the fuck in the truck, loser. And the third thing, and I continue to be most proud of this. I mean, I'm proud of a lot of things for sure, but the one thing that keeps coming up is that in all areas of my life, I create safety.
Mm.
Whatever that looks like on a tombstone. Get the fuck in the truck. We're getting bubble wrap or something. I don't know. I create environments that people who feel beat down on get to grow.
Yeah. You do a good job.
I do a good job.
Heard.
Good night, everyone. It's late.
Good
I'm
night,
tired.
everybody. Thanks for coming to Two Poor Kids.
This is Liz.
That's Christian.
Sometimes. But the only one.
The Christian. All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.